time went on and they slid further and further right, and it was clear they were going to continue what the Tories had done with a few little tweaks. Watching the 100 days of what the DNC made Kamala Harris run with made me go, well, they're obviously going to win because they know more about it than me, but it does look like they're trying to lose. Look, this establishment are operating on 30-plus-year-old politics and expecting great results from a Western world that is just everywhere you look. People are unhappy. People are unhappy. There's no one's got any money. No one can buy a house. And people were kind of like, we don't really care, you're the first female chancellor. What are you going to do? And she was like, I'm going to create loads of growth. Okay, how? Well, you'll see.
Right, so recording, wonderful. So, hey, Sooz, welcome back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Chatter. I'm here with Sooz Kempner, comedian, performer, theatrical person, many hats you wear. So, yeah, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Cheers, January, here it is.
So we were saying last time you were here, actually in this room, I believe.
Yes, it was. It genuinely was.
Yeah. Was long before Elon Musk had bought Twitter.
Yes.
Do you remember those days?
I do. I think, so it would have been, because I remember exactly when I recorded this, I came in at the day after I'd seen my ex at an event. And so I was fried from seeing him. And then I slept for an hour and a half, and then I came in and went, I have things to say. So I do remember this, and I remember it being May 2022. And at that point, I think Elon Musk had said, I'm buying Twitter. And then he was sort of trying to back out. And it was a game of chicken, who would back out first and have to pay the other one $1 billion. And then he didn't back out, and now he owns Twitter. And now we have to hear from him all the fucking time.
Honestly, I'm kind of sick of people pretending like his opinion matters that much.
Yeah, he's just a rich guy. He's just a rich guy. I genuinely think that by the end of 2025, you shouldn't make political predictions because everything I say turns to shit. But yeah, I think by the end of 2025, him and Trump will be like totally split. I don't think, what's it called? Doge department will be a thing.
Yeah, they've given him this department is non-governmental, technically, with no official power, no constitutional power, no actual power.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a chance that he may be given the opportunity to do some stuff. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the scope that anyone seems to think, including himself.
Yeah.
I think it will be.
Yeah. It's like Maggie Simpson with the little wheel, with the little steering wheel in the car with Marge. Like, there you go, Elon. There's your own little government too. What do you think? And his whole thing is just like, well, I reckon. And people go, oh, that's nice. And they write it down and they print it. And we're, like you say, we're supposed to hold it with any reverence. And yeah.
Yeah, like even a stop clock, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever people think of it, it's like, why do we care so much about this one guy? I'm sick of seeing the headline, Elon Musk says this.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Print what I say. If you're so bothered about what someone who's fucking no one says.
Oh, well, he's not quite no one.
No, unfortunately, he's got $400 billion in theory and endless money for his little rockets. One of which exploded in the sky yesterday and rained down on the Caribbean. That's nice.
Is that what those videos were? Okay.
Yeah. Every time.
The video where it, like they managed to catch it like in the when they call the chopsticks thing.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I did say at the time on the old socials, I went, that was badass. And people went, oh, well, you know, it's not Elon Musk. He pays people who know what they're doing. I'm like, I know, it was badass.
Yeah, well, there's just people attaching bad opinions to things. It's like, oh, you can't think something's cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, so yeah, one of the things I wanted to chat about, as I felt you might have some interesting takes, was the Labour government.
Yeah, sure.
So we're what? We're
just over 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
So how did you think it was going to go before we get into it?
I thought it would go better than this, and my expectations were incredibly low. I've made absolutely no secret about the fact I don't like the way Labour's been going since Starmer took over. But I think if we go back to when Partygate broke, it was basically just over 3 years ago. And from the moment it broke, you could see the press had turned and the story wasn't going to go away. And Labour then crept ahead of the Tories and then was so far ahead. And it was really obvious that they were going to win this massive majority. And as time went on and they slid further and further right, and it was clear they were going to continue what the Tories had done with a few little tweaks, I was just more and more disillusioned with them. It wasn't like I'd celebrated when Starmer took over by any means. That wasn't the way that my politics went. But I did think well, if they're this popular, they will have to literally change some things, their whole slogan being changed. And as the election approached, I went, yeah, they're not going to. They're going to win this huge majority and then not do it. And then when it was election night, which I live streamed all night because I'm a glutton for punishment, turned out to be a pretty great night because I'd been led to believe for sort of 2.5 years, the left's dead, shut the fuck up, the left is dead, you're dead, we're the grown-ups, we're in charge now, your project is dead, you've been proved wrong, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. And on election night, Greens and Independents won in record numbers. Jonathan Ashworth lost his seat. It was fucking brilliant. I will never have a greater hour of live streaming than when Corbyn won his seat with an 8,000 majority, and then about 5 minutes later, Jonathan Ashworth lost his. Yum, 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 yum. And then I went, oh, Labour have only won 1.5% more than they got in 2019 on a lower vote share. They will now see that their project of more austerity, and it's necessary. They'll go, look, this has put the shits up us a bit. We will have to do some change. And the fact that they've doubled down and now they're sort of trying to siphon off a few of these reform voters who are disillusioned with the Tories just makes me go, oh, none of you know what the fuck you're doing, particularly with the US election result. And because watching the 100 days of what the DNC made Kamala Harris run with made me go, well, they're obviously going to win because they know more about it than me, but it does look like they're trying to lose. And then when they did lose, because Trump won basically no more votes than he won in 2020, and the Democrats just hemorrhaged votes because loads of people went, I have nothing to vote for, so I just won't. When that happened, I went, oh, they don't care if they win or lose. It's not important so long as they keep the status quo. So now sorry, I've gone really round the houses to say that Labour are doing far worse than I thought they were. And it turns out none of these people know what the fuck they're doing.
None of them, not even one.
No, they're operating under... So the Starmer campaign was sort of based on the Obama campaign, which was based on the Blair campaign, which was, and all of these have been watered down every time they've been done. And the Blair campaign was based on the Clinton campaign. This establishment are operating on 30-plus-year-old politics and expecting great results from a Western world that is just everywhere you look. People are unhappy. People are unhappy. There's no one's got any money. No one can buy a house. And they're going, vote for us, you fucking vote for us, or fascism will get in. And people will go, that sounds different. And then people who are like, yeah, that sounds awful, but so what? There's that as well. So it's not people like me who need to be convinced to vote against fascism. I already will. But there's a lot of people who go, yeah, but things are shit already, so
It's also I think the word like the Nazi like fascist slur has been so overused against everything. People hear the word and like they don't like it doesn't like it, say someone came along that was like Orban style, like properly go in for like destroying the free press, like openly and obviously go like trying to take control of the courts. I have like a Hungarian friend who's gone through in detail like how screwed up their country is at the minute. if someone came along like that, I'm not even sure people like people would like turn around and be like, yeah, no, that's bad. Is because the other option is so repulsive to people after 40 years of said. And do you know what it's like? It's like when you see it's like the Decoys episode of Rick and Morty, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So the campaign, they may have started like, okay, not that Bill Clinton is someone to model yourself after, but like,
no.
Right, the political campaign, he said the right things.
Great energy.
Yeah.
No one had seen something like that.
Yeah. Then you've got like Decoy 1 is Blair. And he's like, he's pretty similar, you know, still good,
and then
good order.
That one,
And then like slowly we've gone further down.
This
like the doll, like and that's what we've got now.
Such a good analogy. I'm crying. Yeah.
But I think all the politicians are still stuck in like the mid-noughties in what they think like
but with a booming economy, because we forget as well that Blair came in under an economy that was on the way up. We were in a boom stage, so people were in quite a good mood. They were like, great, change of government, and I've got money in my pocket. This is great. So you can see why in 97 people went, oh, God, what a dream, what a dream. And I think people were hanging on for that feeling with this new government. Nearly 30 years later, I keep seeing people now, like friends and colleagues will post online, like, we waited 14 years for this government. Why is it like this? And I was like, I don't want to say I told you so, because I will say it, but I'm not saying it with my hands on my hips gloating. I'm like, no, finally everyone's sort of coming around to the fact that just because they say change and just because they've got red ties on doesn't mean your life's suddenly going to improve. And you also can't throw out that, oh God, they've only had 6 months, give them a chance. Because in that 6 months, they have done some stuff. It fucking sucks. Yeah. No one's happy about it.
Not a single. No, I tell you what, there is a specific group of people who are very happy about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is Westminster journalists. They are all delighted.
Rubbing their tum-tums, isn't they?
Like, I don't know if you saw there was some clips doing the rounds today of Nick Robinson doing an interview with Rachel Reeves.
Oh my God.
And they're talking about like
holding hands.
Like there's rumors that she is like despondent in private, like has no idea what to do. Yeah, I don't know.
Does it sound like Bez beating it?
Yeah, maybe West Street. Yeah. Look at that.
And VPN and Chancellor. Yeah.
But so yeah, economy is not doing well. We've had 2 months of contraction, then a 0.1% growth.
Yeah.
And then she's despondent in private, reportedly. Like they've announced nothing that seems that anyone has been pleased about.
Yes.
Like business are not happy, so it's not even like they're being able to please them.
Absolutely. Right? Well, I think productivity in October, November dropped by 1%, apart from in construction. So they go, no, but we had growth, 0.1% growth in that time. Like, cool, that's really good. But how far had we dropped? It really yeah.
But anyway, the interview clips I've seen is Nick Robinson like asking it's like about her family life and like about home, like, oh yeah, mum used to keep all the receipts and she'd make sure everything tallied up, and you'd be like,
so fucking
like, what world are they living in?
Yeah.
No, but like
she can't honestly believe
that. But also, how can Nick Robinson, like politically serve the BBC? Like I've seen him give like difficult interviews before. How is now the time for a softball? Like, like people want answers.
Yeah.
And they wonder why people don't like the BBC anymore.
And people are, unfortunately, people are getting more savvy. Not everyone, but people are curious, and they do go, why is the economy so bad? And when they look into it, more and more people will discover that, it's not a country's economy, particularly one, like we have the pound. We can basically go into, it's virtually impossible for us to be a bankrupt nation. So it's not the same as a family sitting at the kitchen table and balancing the books. And I can remember Paul Ryan of the Republicans doing this little talk. He was going to be the finance guy. Fucking slimy little piece of shit. Where is he? I want to talk to him. I want a word.
He retired.
Yeah.
about a decade ago.
We're going back to the 2 administrations ago, aren't we? But he said, look, here's how I improve the US economy. And he opens this big ledger and he goes, see, we go down here and we work out what can have little cuts, like a household budget. And I can remember then people going, no, it's not like a household budget because it's a country, not a household. So it's slightly different, isn't it? Because there's all these people in it who need to earn money so if you're making tons of cuts, how are all these people who live in this household nation going to earn their money? And he was like, bye. And now Rachel Reeves is spinning that shit and she's from the Labour Party. I don't want to sound like a cliche, but what happened to the party of the working class?
Yeah, that's the bit that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't see what's coming down the track as well. Yes. Because
they must do, though. I just feel like they must know that the next election is just wide open for the far right. They must know.
Farage wins.
Yes.
At this moment in time, yes. Farage wins.
Yeah, and disaster, and he's a fucking nightmare. We know this. But they must know that's coming, and they obviously just don't care. And it's made me really sad to discover this, that the Democrats, the DNC, I'm not even going to say Kamala Harris, because fuck knows what she actually believes.
I don't think very much.
No, me neither. I think that's why she was a great cipher. Yeah.
I mean, why she got there.
Yes, absolutely. This is the sorry, I'm keep jumping off topic, but she lost her primary in 2020. She was the first Democratic primary candidate out.
Yeah.
And the one thing
Gavard absolutely skewered her,
right?
By pointing out the fact that she'd locked up loads of people for marijuana for Hillary.
Yeah, absolutely. And she had no answer for it.
Kept them in prison in order to use cheap slave labor.
Yeah. The one thing that made her stand out was calling Joe Biden racist. And then when he went, it's Kamala Harris, and everyone went, oh, she's so great. I was like, didn't she say she was racist? I fucking hate these people. What? There's not a genuine bone in their body. And suddenly, you did it, Joe. You're gonna be president. I was genuinely excited after the 2020 election because I went, and they'll have learnt their lesson. I'm so naive. I don't know. Imagine if Biden had done 15% more than he did after the catalogue of lies that followed after that election. Imagine if there was 15% more, you might not have Donald Trump now. I'm about to take over.
Yeah, 80,
15. I mean, because Trump was no more popular this election than he was in the last one. And there was a way.
I think he was more openly popular.
I think, but we're talking about percentages and vote counts.
Yeah, I looked this up, by the way, because I was curious if you were right. In 2024, he got 74.65 million, and in 2020, he got 74.22. So
it's closer than I thought, actually.
Yeah, 430,000.
Yeah, I'm sure if we go with population growth, it's so close.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder
crazy.
if I'll give him that answer.
I know he got less than 50% of the popular vote, which surprised me when I saw the votes coming in live on Twitch. That was a sad night.
It was a fun one to watch.
Yeah. Oh my God. As soon as the first returns came in, I was like, yeah, this is fucked. It's midnight our time. I went, we can just go offline now, probably.
No, I was watching my mate's house who's full MAGA.
Oh, really?
He was having the best time ever.
I bet he was. Oh, I bet he was. Enjoy the next 4 years, mate.
We were just getting hammered. Percentage change, the decrease of 0.39%. There you go.
Really? Bloody hell. Yeah, so
he was no more popular.
I think it's going to be
so bad.
I was watching it going, are they trying to lose? And my boyfriend's brother works for the Canadian government, and he works for the immigration department. And he was saying to them, it's not great, is it? In the lead up. And they were like, nothing to worry about. And then he told me that, and I went, good, because those people know more about what they're talking about than I do. And then when the results came in, I was like, they should know. And they asked him the next day. There was a big meeting the next day. Everyone's in this huge boardroom, and someone high up went, okay, so does anyone have any feedback? And he put his hand up and said, I don't know, guys, but maybe something to do with it is people didn't like seeing tons of money and weapons being sent to fry Gazans on the news for months and months on end. I think people hated that, and it was a real turn-off. And they were like, wow, thank you for the feedback. And I went, I don't think this is new information. I think a government department who works with the American government should be aware of this. And I'm so angry. I'm so angry all the time. And I don't know if it makes for funny podcasting, but I heard that and went, I've got to stop trusting that these people know what they're doing, even if I disagree with it. I've got to stop. Because they don't. I don't know anything, but they definitely don't.
They sit and lecture everyone about being in their like social media bubbles, and it's like they are in the biggest fucking bubble.
Right.
I'm not sure the last time that any like establishment leaning politician had an interaction with a normal person.
Yeah.
I would
and didn't dismiss it.
And or not even just that, just had an interaction with them that was like more than just like, thank you, the next one along the queue. Yeah. Like, I think they don't talk to people. And I think that they're that out of touch.
Yeah.
Like right, the DNC lost 3 elections on the trot, basically. Yeah. Right? Well, not quite lost, but like, they've really fucked 3 primary elections on the trot by trying to rig them, right?
Yes.
And so what they did...
And I'm more and more aware of that, and I'm so angry. Yeah.
They fucked Bernie.
Yes.
They fucked Bernie again.
They fucked Bernie again.
In order to choose a geriatric...
Yeah. And they knew in 2020, because now it's out there, that they fucking knew he wasn't good. It wasn't good.
But then the whole line was, and I remember this vividly.
Yeah.
Joe Biden was standing up, giving speeches, being like, I am not going to be a 2-term president.
Yes.
I will stand down. I am just like I'm a caretaker for the next generation till you find your person.
Yeah.
And then they spent 4 years picking nobody to succeed after him. And then they let him go out and be like, I'm going to run again.
Yes. After we spent 2 years watching Joe Biden, like fucking when Tomb Raider glitches out and Lara Croft is in the middle of and going like, that's not good. And they're like, no, but behind closed doors, trust us. He's so sharp. And I'm like, right. I think it was Jon Stewart who's like, couldn't you film that? and then he got absolutely, they're like, oh, fuck this fence sitter. I'm like, Jon Stewart's not sitting on the fence by saying that. That's not fence sitting. Fuck off. Yeah. And then afterwards, they're like giving interviews where they're going, yeah, we knew for ages he was bad. And in 2020, Jill Biden was going out doing a lot more promotion than he was. And we had to tell them to keep quiet about that, because if Jill Biden was seen to be doing more of campaigning than he was, then that would look really bad, because it would look like the future president wasn't capable. But like, yes. No, true. Yeah, true.
No, he won in 2020 by just being in a basement.
Looking after a bee in a jar, like those guys in The Simpsons. He won because of COVID. Yeah. Because it meant he didn't have to campaign very much. We could have been looking at seeing out the last Trump presidency.
I think they probably also partially won because of the way they were able to go around like blocks of apartments. Everyone's home. Yeah. Canvassers go in. Okay, guys, we got your postal votes. Yeah. Like you could just do a building in an hour. And just do every single vote in the building. Yeah. Genius. Like
it is.
If you're a get out the vote person, like fair play. Yeah. Like that's probably what got him over the line, because it was only by like 40,000 votes or something.
Across several states. Yeah, but absolutely. It was way closer than it was looking like it was going to, because I went into that election like pretty fucking confident. And by the Electoral College, it looks like a really clear win. But yeah, it was close, and they didn't learn a thing. And when it's going to take...
Do you know the last time they let the voters pick a candidate, the Democratic Party?
Oh, God.
2008.
Was it? So they wanted Hillary.
Yeah, no, the DNC wanted. They were fully... Hillary was the one that came up with the birther stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I know. Her campaign against Obama was really fucking racist.
Yeah, she was the one that started the birth certificate shit. Like,
Trump was still donating to the campaign under Hillary. Probably. He was well in there. The Clintons are friends with the Trumps. I was actually quite surprised after the 2016 election. There was, you know, someone explained to me when they went, it's all a game. So Trump and the Clintons were friends, and eventually they just will be again. And I was actually I'm not impressed. I'm not going to, hey, you got to hand it to her with Hillary and Bill at all. But they haven't gone back on that. I think the pain runs deep there. They haven't seen Bill and Trump back on the golf
Trump
course.
chose not to go after her about the emails. I think they had I don't know if it was a shock case, but like, she got subpoenaed.
Yes.
And then acid washed the fucking secret server.
Sure.
Like, that would most, like, normal civilians like us. But the Clintons are the people that run the DNC, because they were like, I don't know if they are anymore, but post 2020, the DNC were massively in debt to the Clintons. Right. They were pumping money into it.
Sure, right. They,
so she might
this is why it's so meaningless when people go, you got the fucking blue MAGA lot, the resistance libs going, they put a felon in the White House. Like, yeah, all these people are fucking criminals.
Yeah, like, literally, they're all
criminals.
Did you see today Anthony Blinken giving like his final press conference, and Max Blumenthal shouting him down, being like, how's it feel to have your legacy as genocide? Like,
right,
they're all war criminals. They've enabled this shit. Like, they
history will, I mean, who cares? Obviously I care. History will judge all of this era, our government, the US government, the Canadian government, very harshly.
They all sat by and let it happen.
They really did. They actively encouraged it. We got what is it? So 2 weeks since Biden sent $8 billion in more weapons and money to fund the IDF. That's a fortnight ago, and now they're like, oh, we're so chuffed with this ceasefire arrangement, which is all going to fucking fall apart. And then the only thing that people like, I shouldn't name them, but David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen, who have spent 4 years criticizing absolutely everything Trump says or does, and there's plenty to criticize, while not saying a word. I mean, David Pakman in particular, not saying a word about Gaza. And now all of a sudden he's piped up about Gaza to say, like, Trump is taking credit for this. Isn't that disgusting? Like, I don't care who takes credit for any of this. I want to stop seeing kids getting blown up on my fucking newsfeed.
I'm pretty sure it was Trump's.
I think Netanyahu. This is Netanyahu. Yeah.
It was Trump's appointment that supposedly has convinced them to go for the ceasefire.
Absolutely. It'll fall apart. Of course it will, but it's nothing to do with Biden. Yeah.
Biden said, did you see this? This was mad. Biden says that he said to Netanyahu, like, you can't carpet bomb Palestine. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And then Netanyahu...
Jack, you've gone too far, Jack.
like, and Netanyahu turned around and be like, you did it.
Yep.
Iraq,
fucking Spider-Man, me.
Japan, like you know, those are two very, very far apart examples. But like,
totally.
US are like they're supplying all the bombs for and like all the stuff for Libya. They created a failed state there.
Yes,
Syria. They like technically illegally bombed them after claiming there was chemical weapons being used, which turned out there wasn't. Like the list of like US war crimes goes on.
Yes.
And Netanyahu just turned around and went like, you're just as bad as
yeah.
And he's just like,
I might be a cunt, but look in the mirror, sunshine.
But what do you like if you're Biden, what do you say to that?
Yeah. And very little, because your brain is soup with little holes in it.
True.
Yeah. He will I just can't get my head around people who are still friends and colleagues who will still say Biden was the greatest president of my lifetime.
They're not actually. No one said that, right?
I have had a couple of people say it. Yeah, they in response to me saying Biden. My words were on. This is online. Biden finally dropped out way too late, and then the DNC forced that campaign for 100 days, and we're surprised that they lost. And I had people jumping on it with that. What do you mean finally? What do you mean finally? He's the greatest president of my lifetime. And this is a bunch of people who really should know better. It's like, if I can show my workings, you know.
How can you say? How can you say best of our life?
Yeah.
Like.
How old are you? 5?
Right. Barack Obama did a lot of things that I don't like.
No, same.
Okay.
And also, he's probably responsible for Elon Musk. Look at all the money he gave that side of things and handed over the power
That's
to
true.
that
Yeah,
side.
they get they give a lot of companies a lot of stuff.
Yes,
but like
corporate.
Obama did. Obama turned around on a lot of things that he should have done, like whistleblower protection.
But he was harder on Israel than Biden ever was. I mean, Biden's like for his entire career been like full on Israel.
But just in terms of like the US had I'd say they were viewed the most positively that I have seen in my like lifetime.
Yeah.
While Obama was president.
Yes.
Because he was a great orator.
Incredible diplomat.
Yeah. He had gravitas. I mean, diplomat. I'm reading a very interesting book at the minute that just shows how he was no better than George Bush and all.
Oh no, of course, but the surface diplomacy was perfect. Yeah.
No, he did all the right things. He ticked all the boxes.
Like a movie star.
Yeah, but he did, and you know. I know there'll be people listening who'll be saying that Trump was the greatest one because he had no new foreign wars.
No, but he did in one term. He did drop. There were more drone strikes under Trump in one term than there were over Obama. With Obama in two, and Obama loved them fucking drone strikes. So this idea that Trump hated war, it's like he didn't officially start new wars. He's got no problem with war. He doesn't give a shit. The thing I find the funniest about Trump is that he really does only care about him. So he doesn't care what's happening in Israel or Gaza. Not bothered. He doesn't give a shit. He's only bothered about himself. So
his reputation.
Yeah. So supporters of his that say like, and who hates war, Donald Trump. Like, no, he doesn't care. So if it aids him, he'll send more weapons, do more violence. If it doesn't aid him, he'll say, shouldn't do it.
There's a weird thing where I feel like that's almost preferable. Like that's it.
Yeah, at least it's lack of hawkishness. Yeah.
No, exactly, because it's like, and you're someone at the head of that war machine. I kind of want them to only do the popular thing. Yeah. Because at least it seems like people are more and more anti-war. We know too much.
Yeah, and people who are scumbags, they are also aware the economy's terrible, and they're becoming more aware that war costs a fucking fortune, and it makes people who aren't them a fucking fortune. So then they go, well, I don't hate war. Like, they don't care about the people involved. A lot of them are like so outright racist that they do see Palestinians as like rodents. They do have the whole Nazi take on these brown people who are like, blow them up. They're probably all terrorists, they're scum. They don't have feelings and they're just bags of meat. They don't care. But if it costs money, they go, oh, don't do it then. Right?
The amount of
my eggs are expensive.
The amount, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. But my point is, I don't really care what people's reasons are for being anti-war. Like you say, if they're just, could we have less of it?
Yeah, because it's the oldest industry in the world. I mean, people warned us about it.
Yeah. There was a guy.
He was out there being like, lads, we need to stop.
Guys, it's really bad. There was a guy called, I think something Zaharov was his name, and he was a big arms dealer in the First World War. Basil Zaharov? And he was selling weapons to both sides and talking to both sides and saying, well, I'll tell you what they've got. So if they've got that, you're going to want this. And he made the modern equivalent of billions of dollars from selling arms to both sides in the First World War. And he's there's some people who will declare him the most evil man in history.
Ooh, often referred to as the Merchant of Death.
That's him. And that's 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago.
But Basil
Zaharov.
He has Basil is apparently short for something.
Okay, yeah. I know
Basilios Zacharias was a controversial and enigmatic figure known as one of the most infamous arm dealers in history.
Yeah.
Merchant of Death, gained notoriety for his cunning business acumen, manipulative tactics, and shadowy dealings.
He's the Always Sunny meme of I'm playing both sides so that I come out on top. That's him.
That's an interesting guy.
He is fascinating. He had some code name ZZ, and he was very mysterious.
Zaharov became infamous for employing unscrupulous methods, selling arms to both sides of the conflict, sabotaging rival companies, encouraging tensions and wars, with increased demand for his weapons. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a total piece of shit. Trump can only aspire.
Yeah, he's not an arms dealer. The Trump just loves beachfront property.
That's
Do you know?
it.
You know, he said this to what's his face, Kim Jong Un, apparently, when he was like doing his negotiations, like when he was out, like when he did, like walked across no man's land and went in and did the negotiations.
Right.
He went to him and he's like, "Look, you got to stop with this." And then Kim Jong Un was like, "Well, I've got a button, I can get the nukes." And then Trump was like, "I've got a bigger button."
Mm-hmm.
But you've got some lovely beaches. Like you could have some lovely beachfront property. Like that's what.
Oh, this flim flam piece of shit! He did it. He really did.
I mean, it's the most amazing. He's just like, stop with the nukes. Build some condos.
They are all piece of shit scumbags, aren't they? You just hope that they go, there's more money in property.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah. Well.
Listen, I'm looking outside this window. There's a pretty shabby looking building with a couple of windows. That flat there probably where are we? Zone 2? That flat there is probably worth more than a couple of years of war in some countries.
Probably.
Yeah. Let's at least just concentrate on making property prices go out of the reach of 99% of people. Then there's less death. Not everyone's fucking homeless.
That would be nice, like affordable housing in London.
Don't be so immature and naive.
Never going to happen unless we all get a big fat pay rise.
Yeah, exactly. Unless I get some advert for Samsung or something.
I'm sure they'll listen to this podcast and be like, that seems like the level-headed...
Yeah, we'd love to have her on. I'm sure there are people who would listen to this and say, these two love Donald Trump. That's it. Why do they hate the left? Like, oh yeah, no, that's us.
Well, yeah, the left. There is no left. Like, it's gone. It's disappeared. Like,
we're all dead. The left is dead.
It's died with Corbyn, unfortunately, for the time.
Except it didn't, because we're all still screaming and they're all still furious with us. I mean, the reaction across news channels when Corbyn won back his seat.
Like, did you see them even like entertaining this idea? They were like, well, he's not that popular locally. And it's like, have you been there?
Yeah, he can't walk down the street without people saying, thank you for this specific thing. Yeah,
no, the Novara media did a thing where they were like asking some people, they were on the street asking some people about stuff, right, about Corbyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were doing like a brief interview with him, and in like 10 minutes 3 people on camera, like not staged at all, like literally just come up and were like, oh, hey, thanks for doing this, thanks.
Yeah
and just go, and you think he's gonna lose?
You think the private medical company guy is going to win just because he's got the red tie and he's on the Labour ballot? It was Mandelson. They cut to him in the studio after Corbyn won, and he's like, well, we all know why this happened. It's because people all assumed he was still Labour. It's like, well, on the run-up to this election, you said he's definitely going to lose because people just want Labour. And the only reason Corbyn ever won was because he was with the Labour Party. And it was bollocks. And Jonathan Ashworth lost his seat just after. It was great.
That was beautiful. I had this really like beautiful dream that Keir Starmer they were going to win a huge majority, but Keir Starmer would lose his seat to Andrew Feinstein.
That would have been pretty fun viewing. I mean, of course, they would have then parachuted in him somewhere else, which is what they talked about with Johnson at one point, wasn't it? It's like there was some possibility Johnson could lose his seat, and then obviously it never happened. But they said, oh, well, they'll just put him in a safe seat. I went, damn, that's annoying. Of course they will. But it would be nice to see them lose the seat anyway. Starmer lost a big chunk of his majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would well. Yeah. So the latest plan for Rachel Reeves to kickstart growth. It seems that she was, screaming about how bad things were going. And then the next day, Keir Starmer comes out and it's like, right, well, the UK is going to be the home of AI. Yeah, that'll do.
Amazing.
And
we're going to unleash AI.
Does that mean that she's going to ask ChatGPT how to stimulate economic growth?
Sure, that ship has sailed, yeah. But please help. Just type in please help into.
Let's do this. I'm gonna check this out.
How to stimulate economy, please.
Let's try this. See what happens. So what should we put? Rachel Reeves.
Was it losing something like $250,000 a day, ChatGPT? Let's aid that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I need to grow the economy.
Hello, me am Rachel
Tried
Reeves.
nothing. Let's see what it says.
Help, computer.
What are we saying? Okay. Growing an economy is no small task, but with creative and decisive actions, you can foster sustainable growth. Oh, this
sounds like her talking.
This must have been the thing that gave her the pep talk.
Yeah.
Launch a green infrastructure revolution. Prioritize renewable energy projects and electric vehicle infrastructure.
Oh my God,
Invest
shine
in
like this.
digital infrastructure. That's basically the AI.
Yeah. Or a chat.
Support SMEs are the backbone of most economies. Maybe don't raise national insurance on them and, put some of them making the money. Incentivize innovation. Offer tax incentives for research and development and intellectual property creation. Roll out a national skills strategy with free or subsidized training.
Oh, no, that.
I mean, all of these are better ideas than the current policy.
Absolutely. They're actually reasonable, aren't they? Yeah.
Temporarily reduce VAT on key goods and services to boost consumption.
Who did that? It was the Tories did that, didn't
Yeah.
they? For a little while.
Attract FDI. Oh, we don't want to do that. Fuck that. No, the attract FDI is always code word for give corporations everything they want. All
that's
great. And then,
Chat GPT's like, hi, I've been listening since 1979.
Yeah.
And these seem like some good ideas. Like, no,
I
don't.
asked the Chicago boys, and they told me that Milton Friedman is an upstanding economist.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel Reeves. I don't feel sorry for her at all, but I do think it's funny watching her be so sad that when she came in, she just kept going, guess who's the first female chancellor? Me, it's me. And she thought there'd be like parades in the street. We've had 3 female prime ministers. 3. Sorry, I went, Anki me. Oh no, she's not prime minister. I just forgot. I forgot that Starmer was. She... And people were kind of like, we don't really care, you're the first female chancellor. What are you going to do? And she was like, I'm going to create loads of growth. Okay, how? Well, you'll see. And then it's 0.1%. Oh, yeah. And let's see if that goes up. But Rachel, none of this is working and you're really unpopular. You can't just keep going, you lot are wrong. Trust us when we can see what's happening and when you only have 33.7% of the vote. And that was the high point.
Yeah. Starmer is rapidly having the worst first 100 days of AEPM in modern history.
We're up to nearly probably 200 days now. Yeah. They're racking up them days. And yes, and it's deserved. It's entirely deserved. And I don't believe that just because Farage's popularity keeps growing, it doesn't make me go, well, Starmer doesn't deserve to be less popular than Farage because
he does.
I do believe he does.
He does deserve to be less.
Yeah, which is no endorsement of Farage.
No, Farage at least has a compass where he like fucking talks to people. He goes to the pub. He goes to the pub a lot, and he talks to the people at the pub, and that is like that's full. He's full of it, and I don't trust some of his like financial links, and I really don't want Elon Musk to start funded reform because I would really love political parties to just be not funded by billionaires.
I don't see why.
They have they have the ear of all the politicians already. They don't need to be given the money to.
We're being told we really need to stop Farage being funded by Elon Musk. Like, can we just stop Labour being funded by billionaires as well? That'd be great.
Yeah. The Cayman Islands, tax group that gave them loads and loads of money, and then suddenly all of their plans for tackling tax evasion were shelved and not talked about.
Just a little bit went away.
And then they were talking about digital services tax for Google and stuff, and then they sent some Labour Party representatives to Glastonbury on a hospitality package, and 2 days later,
would you believe? So what's really annoying is you see some of these donations, and then U-turns happen, and some of them are like a dinner. It's like, how are you? You're so easily bought.
They said someone asked David Lammy that. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, right.
No, someone asked David Lammy that. It wasn't specifically about all the donations and stuff. It was David Lammy went from like the most ardent, like, anti-Trump person ever. Then he met him, had dinner with him at Mar-a-Lago. I was like, yeah, seems like a stand-up guy. And someone was like, is that all it takes?
Just a dinner. Like,
you that cheap?
God, yeah. I've been taken for nice dinners before and then in the end not gone home with the guy. Like David Lammy, he went home with the guy. I don't think the dinner at Mar-a-Lago is that nice either. Someone posted a Thanksgiving dinner. Look up Thanksgiving dinner at Mar-a-Lago. It looked like if someone served it to you on a plane, you'd think it was a prank.
What was it? Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving dinner, yeah. Someone posted a picture of a plate and I went, looks terrible. It looks like someone had left it out for several hours.
Was this it? No, this deleted by the first name as you posted it. This one here.
No, that wasn't it. That one looks all right. No, that wasn't it either. I posted it on my Blue Sky. It might be on my Twitter as well, but yeah, that's fine. Anyway, it looked like shit.
Yeah, sometimes those big, but like, honestly, that's always what happens at those big catered events. Like, food is never that good.
No, the more people are having to feed.
Yeah, the worse it gets. Like, I've witnessed like what's meant to be like 5-star catering at weddings. I've worked at, and I'm like,
Yeah. This is costing, what is it? It's like, they sell it to them and they go £30 a plate, like £30 per guest.
Yeah.
And then they're like, right, we've got 200 guests, so that's $6,000. Great. And then £6,000 worth of food just goes around. It's like school dinners. Yeah. Should have got everyone to bring their own.
That would probably have been preferable.
So bring your own.
I've got so many weddings this year. Hopefully the food is good. Some
they're very expensive to attend, aren't they?
Don't even
then they want a gift.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, thankfully, there's one that I have to go to I hope to go to in Egypt.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. Guy from Northern Ireland, Lebanese girl.
I see. So they've gone for Egypt. Right.
But they on the invitation, it had like gift registry, and I was just like, duh. And then underneath it was like, oh, we wanted your presents. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yes. That's it. That's the way. It's the ones who go, don't worry about gift. Can you just donate to our honeymoon?
Oh, no.
And you're like, you already booked it, so you've already paid for it, so you can eat my fucking ass.
No, I hate giving money to people as a present, especially for something like that. I want to give them something personal. Although last time that happened, one of my friends had a wedding, like my really close friends, and I didn't get a thank you note because I didn't give them money. I gave them a present.
Oh, wow. Yeah, severed.
Not good.
Bridge burnt.
Yeah, not literally. So yeah. Other things I want to cover. Will they last 5 years?
So it's really difficult because when Johnson got in 2019, I wasn't saying this, but I know that it was common discourse at the time was, well, they're in for 10 years minimum. So it's easy for me.
If COVID hadn't happened, I think he would have done that.
Possibly,
no,
yeah.
He right. In contrast to Keir Starmer, who keeps getting more unpopular, Boris Johnson spent the first year of his time as Prime Minister getting more and more and more popular.
He did, it's true. However, we just don't know what would have gone down because the press turned on them over Partygate, and that was a choice. It's not this organic thing that the press go like, oh, you did something that was the most baddest thing, because actually it wasn't. It was a brilliant symbol, and the optics were so appalling.
And they did so many worse things than that.
Absolutely, yeah. The parties in Downing Street, that they made people the most angry, but actually, there's way worse that they did.
I would even accept their logic as the excuses.
Yeah,
they hadn't been like prosecuting people for the same shit.
10 grand fines for people who were on a park pension. Yeah,
I mean? Like, right? Because they were like, oh well, we were all working together. Like, it's just common sense. What's the harm? And I agree. Yeah. Why did you fine people then?
Yeah, and then we would take that more if you then immediately just cancelled every fine. But when the press turned on them, I knew it was over because like the political wheels were in motion, and the press decided, no, it's not you now. It's the other guys. Something else might have done that.
The photos were leaked. The first ones.
Yeah.
From exactly.
Is this Allegra Stratton, the footage?
Yeah, but no, not that. The first photos from them like outside. That would
the ones that look like last year at Marienbad.
Yeah. They were taken from what appears to be the Treasury's office.
Yes, I remember it. It was like
Sunak,
greasy little snake.
Yeah.
He's still an MP. I've just realised.
What, really?
He hasn't stood down, which is a big shock. I thought that the moment he lost that election, he'd be like, bye, I'm not to make it.
Well, no, actually, to be fair, he might be spending half his time in fucking America.
To be fair, we wouldn't know where the fuck he is. I haven't heard a peep from him, which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't like hearing from that guy.
No one wants to hear from like old prime ministers. Like,
No, was it Harold Wilson who said there's nothing lonelier than being an ex-prime minister?
Yeah, Tony Blair constantly trying to
God
back into fucking
ID cards, anyone?
Once a year, minimum once a year, whatever problem we're currently dealing with.
That's it.
ID cards.
I think it was Milo Edwards said that if we just gave him his ID cards, he'd just disappear. He'd like just be consumed by the earth. My work is all done. I can disappear.
Maybe. Furlough, blah, blah, blah. Conservatives. Arthur Johnson. Premiership. So I'm trying to find out his 24 resignation. Leader of the opposition. Yeah, he was leader of the opposition, obviously, till Kemi.
Yes.
And then, yeah, I assume he's taking some money from some hedge fund or think tank or something.
He can sort of do whatever now.
That's the most, like, obscene thing that politicians can have two jobs.
Yes.
Really pissed. I thought they were going to, like, try and stop them doing it when they started banging on about Farage's TV show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe they're going to start making some rules for themselves.
Yeah, imagine.
like George Osborne was taking $500,000 a year from BlackRock.
Yeah.
While he was Chancellor of the fucking Exchequer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Make sure that's accurate. At some point.
There's certainly, if they're not going to just make a blanket rule, surely there should be a rule that you can't have a job in the media. And I include like writing little opinion pieces in papers. Surely that shouldn't be a thing. Any job in the media, you can't have that if you're an
I feel
MP.
like you should be allowed to write as much as you want, but you shouldn't be paid for it.
Yeah. Put it on your little blog.
During his tenure, apparently he didn't have... it was after his role as Chancellor.
Okay.
In 2017 onwards, sorry, George. I do apologize.
Sorry, George. He wasn't an MP. When did he quit?
2020.
Oh, God, it was as late as that?
Whilst an MP, he was editor of the Evening Standard, advisor to BlackRock, and took on speeches and consultancy work. Like, how much was he getting paid by BlackRock? Let's find out. See if it comes back with something. Oh, I do apologise.
Oh.
It was not £500,000 a year.
Okay.
It was £650,000 a year. £13,500 a day.
Amazing. That's almost what I earn singing in gay bars.
Maybe I'll try
it. It's good money.
Which... Like, at that point, are you not just like a well-paid prostitute?
It is like that, isn't it?
George Osborne, not the singing in bar.
Yeah. Oh, I wish, honey. I'd have far more respect for him if he was doing a sexy little OnlyFans. I'd be like, well, that's honest fucking work. And God bless the people who want to pay for that. But taking $30,500 a day.
Less exploited.
And it would be less repulsive. The concept would sicken me as much.
I don't know how we can countenance that though. Like just as a democracy. Like how is that okay?
We've been beaten into accepting it, haven't we? As a society. I mean, Thatcher, I don't know exactly when in her premiership she said it, but she said there's no such thing as society and you can sort of look after the people around you if you fancy it. But in terms of wider society, they have to look after themselves, and you look after yourself and your people who immediately surround you. And we're 46 years into it. People going, yeah. No, that's just the system. It just works that way. And they don't look into why it didn't work that way beforehand. We've been taught, like, is it Adam Smith was like the pioneer of the market is just like this thing. It's like a gas that floats around, and that does what that does, and we obey it. And
Wealth of nations.
And we know it's bollocks. Like, it's provably bollocks, but most people, your man on the street has been led to believe that is the case, and they're still obeying it. Just, God, unfortunately, property prices will just keep going up. Like, yeah, why? Why is that? Why is that? Tell me why it is.
Supply and demand.
Yeah. There's no way that housing can ever become affordable.
Never, not even once.
It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not possible.
Never been possible before. No one ever owned a house. No.
My parents bought their first house in 1982, and it was a 2-bed in a random town in West Sussex, and they bought that for I know that the deposit they paid was, in today money, about 11 grand, and they saved it up and they bought a house for 11 grand deposit. I couldn't in a million years find a place that I could put an 11 grand deposit on now. Certainly not a 2-bed, and certainly not maybe in like the far-flung highlands of Scotland, there might be a place where I could put an 11 grand deposit on. Doesn't exist now. And people will go, well, that's just the market. I'm like, well, the market stinks then. Someone should do something about that. I don't know if I'm giving you the most intelligent content here, but I am literally just saying, no, but it's bollocks, isn't it?
No, but it is.
It is bollocks.
No, but it's supply and demand. It's like, right, okay, UK, population growing.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need more house than before.
Oh, we built some. Here they are. They're 700 grand each.
Yeah,
enjoy yourself.
Not just that. Like, okay, the private sector built some houses.
Yeah.
Right. But to negate that, you have property speculators buying up empty fucking blocks of apartments. Mm-hmm. You have no council housing being built, basically zero since Thatcher.
Yeah.
And nobody even attempting to say maybe we need like large scale attempts to, use some of the land of derelict buildings that we have and try and because they're all like, as soon as someone says, right, we need to build more houses, everyone's like, well, where are we going to put it? The green belt. And it's like, well, that's a fair point. There's a lot to be said for, like,
can be had.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for conserving like the natural part of the country that's there and very pretty and absorb carbon and has many benefits. Things live there. And instead of just looking around at like the amount of like just rotted out buildings and office space that now isn't being used because people have gone remote or like just like use the space better, guys. We don't need to, I would wager that you could find a shit ton more housing in the bounds of London without having to like build 1 inch outside of London.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what about all these empty properties owned by people who own hundreds of properties and they're not renting them out?
Just empty property tax.
Put a fucking tax on them. Yes, they did. Yeah, and that kind of worked. And they still, I mean, it's still a problem, but I mean, they talk out there. Because my boyfriend lives in Toronto, and they'll say to me, "Oh, the rent prices here are out of control." Well, my boyfriend pays the equivalent of about £850 a month for a good sized 1-bed apartment, and it's cheap. People will say, "Well, that is cheap," but like you're still talking, it's less than £1,000 for a 1-bed apartment in a major world capital, and they also, rent's got out of control here. Oh my God, it's twice as expensive in London.
Minimum.
Yeah, exactly. Now, their food prices are through
disgusting.
The roof. It is crazy. And we're talking, if you want to eat in a restaurant, or if you want to buy in the supermarket. The food prices are nuts there. I would say a third more expensive than they are here, because two families own all the supermarkets and they can price gouge as much as they want, and the government hasn't stepped in. And now Trudeau is unbelievably unpopular, and through his own Biden-style stubbornness has led them to, they're going to get a new far-right government.
Your guy Poliver seems all right. No, like compared to some of the nutcases I've seen in politics, he seems like not.
I'm not going to say like I prefer diarrhea to vomiting.
No, I don't know. I've not seen anything that he said that like that said I'm not tuned into Canadian politics that much, but like he seems all right. He seems like not the worst person that you could have as like retribution for like Trudeau.
Tim Curry from Legend could be him.
Anyway, we've blasted past an hour. So,
oh my goodness! Right.
So to wrap up, in conclusion, we're fucked.
Yeah. In conclusion, sorry to depress everyone. I've had people who, I've got friends who say, I used to come to you because you were always so hopeful and you always had so much constructive stuff to say. And they said, now you just keep telling me, no, it's fucked because of this. And I said, yeah, sorry, it is. We had a chance. We had a little chance.
No, it's not. We're not like, we're not.
Nothing's over, but maybe it'll be 15 years before we're going, lovely. And then I'll be 55. I don't want to be 55 going, lovely. That sucks.
Party hard while you're young, kids. Anyway, links for your stuff I'll put in the description.
We didn't even do grooming gangs, did we?
No, well,
we sort them out another time.
Yeah, I'll leave that for another episode.
In links, I'm on. I mean, I haven't quit Twitter, and I'm mainly on Blue Sky now, but it's not for any moral reasons. It's because Elon Musk rat fucked me, and I was so shadow banned on there that I had no reach on Twitter anymore for about a year and a half. So I'm on Blue Sky, SoozUK.bsky.social. Find me on there. I'm on there all the time. I'm on Instagram, but Facebook Meta could fall any day now. And you can go to my website, soozkempner.co.uk, and you find out where I'm gigging. When's this come out? I could advertise a gig. Is that all right?
Wednesday.
Oh, well, enjoy you. Trump's in now, everyone.
Exactly.
On February 4th, if you're in Edinburgh area, I'm doing last year's show, Class of 2000. It's all about class, having class, and being from the year 2000. That's when I turned 15. You can see that at Monkey Barrel on February 4th. And on February 15th, I'm at the Leicester Comedy Festival with a preview of my new show, Sooz Kempner is Ugly.
Awesome. Well, I'll put the links in for you to check it out.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Josh. Thanks.
Hey, listeners, real quick. Do you ever find yourself sitting watching the stock market like this? Well, now you could instead be ordering my book like this. It's the story of GameStop. You can purchase it with a hoodie, with acknowledgements, or just with the early backers edition. It's all about the GameStop story. It's the real story, not just what you've seen on films. It's exactly what has happened over the last 3.5 years. And with DFE back, I'm finally able to draw a conclusion to my book. Please pre-order it. It really helps me out. And you will get it eventually, I promise. Hopefully this year.